Have you ever paused mid-sentence? Maybe you're sitting in a boring meeting or just scribbling down a quick grocery list and actually looked at how you shape your letters? Most of us just see our handwriting as, a basic practical tool we picked up in grade school. But what if I told you that the everyday, physical act of writing is literally a window straight into your mind? Today in this explainer, we are decoding the hidden patterns of your everyday life. We're breaking down 5 hidden personality traits revealed by your handwriting, and honestly, the science behind this, it might completely change how you see yourself. Okay, let's dive right into this. Picture your typical notebook right now. Have you ever been judged for having that classic doctor's prescription handwriting style? You know exactly what I mean, where your letters are just a frantic blur of ink and people are constantly asking, wait, how on earth do you even read that? It's a super relatable pain point. For years, society has basically told you that chaotic notes mean you're just messy, disorganized, or, well, careless. But what if? Actually, scratch that. What if I told you that chaotic mess is actually a sign of something absolutely incredible happening inside your head? To really get this, we need to look at what psychology calls the inner wired brain. This is the totally fascinating concept that physical movements, even those microscopic rapid pen strokes you make, are direct extensions of how your mind processes information, handles emotions, and just generally views the world around you. Let me reassure you right out of the gate. Your messy handwriting is not a sign of laziness, no way. In fact, it's very often a symptom of exceptionally high-speed cognitive processing. You aren't doing it wrong, your brain is just doing it differently. So here's the map of where we're going. We'll tour 4 key areas: the messy genius, size and flow, pressure and spacing, and finally, what it means to be wired differently. Starting right off with section 1, the messy genius, where we decode those chaotic notes. When we look at a page of scrawled handwriting, what we're actually witnessing is the physical evidence of a complex brain running at absolute top speed. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive gap between what society thinks and what psychology actually knows. There's this huge myth out there that messy writing equals a lazy, careless person. But the reality? It actually points to lightning-fast processing and selective organization. The simple truth is, your hand literally cannot keep up with the sheer volume and speed of the thoughts racing through your mind. Which brings us to our very first hidden trait: selective organization. Psychology tells us that high IQ minds, well, they don't organize everything equally. They don't waste precious mental energy trying to make the little loops of their G's and Y's look pretty. Instead, they pour all that energy into the ideas that actually matter, completely ignoring the visual noise. To an outsider, sure, your page looks chaotic. But to your brain, you are powerfully prioritizing the flow of complex thoughts over surface-level aesthetics. Let's move to section 2 and see how this builds: size and flow, exploring focus and connectivity. Okay, so we've talked about the speed of your writing, but now let's look at how your brain focuses, starting with the physical size of your letters. Seriously, take a close look at your own script. If you naturally have a very small, compact handwriting style, it often reveals a deeply ingrained habit of observing before acting. You probably aren't the loudest person in the room, and you definitely don't feel the need to announce your presence with large, sweeping, dramatic letters. Instead, you likely rely on internal validation, rather than constantly seeking attention or approval from the crowd around you. In psychology, this tiny, precise script is strongly linked to our second hidden trait: cognitive restraint. This is the highly disciplined and honestly quite rare ability to think deeply and critically before reacting to the world. People with this trait maintain a very rich, structured inner world. It creates this intense level of focus, allowing you to just tune out distractions and zero in on the details that truly matter. Now, still thinking about flow, look at how your letters actually join together. If your letters are intricately connected in a continuous flowing script, you aren't just writing individual words. Your pen is physically mapping out a continuous web of ideas and meanings. This mirrors a mind that flat out refuses to accept surface-level answers to complex problems. It's like a giant puzzle your brain is constantly trying to solve. And that reveals our third trait: hyperconnectivity. We're talking about multi-dimensional thinking, where the brain never truly switches off until it sees the complete, full picture. Psychologists actually consider this a major hallmark of gifted individuals. If you have connected writing, your brain is constantly linking details, recognizing patterns, and drawing associations that other people might completely, totally miss. You are quite literally connecting the dots as you write. Moving right along to section 3, pressure and spacing, where we dive into emotion and social dependency. Let's shift gears a bit to the highly kinesthetic, physical feeling of writing. I want you to physically recall the sensation of holding a pen right now.
Do you find yourself gripping it super tightly? Are you pressing down on the paper so hard that you can literally run your fingers over the back of the page and feel those heavy indentations? Maybe you can even feel those grooves 2 or 3 pages deep into the notebook. Well, that intense physical pressure, it definitely doesn't just come from nowhere. Now, what's really fascinating here is how that raw physical force translates directly into our fourth hidden trait, gifted emotions. This physical pressure is a reflection of a mind that feels the world far more deeply than most. It reveals an intense emotional depth where you process every single experience with remarkably high intensity. You don't just feel a little happy or a little frustrated. No, you feel deep joy, burning curiosity, and intense frustration so much more strongly than the average person. Next, we have to look at the empty space on the page. The spacing between your words is actually a massive indicator of our fifth trait, your level of social dependency. Just think about the contrast here. If you naturally leave wide, clear gaps between your words, it signifies a strong desire for psychological privacy and independence. You are incredibly comfortable in your own mind. On the flip side, if your words are tightly crowded together, it suggests you crave authentic connection and possess a deep, driving need to be truly understood by the people around you. Which brings us to our final section, Wired Differently. It's time to embrace your unique script. So, the absolutely crucial point is this. We've decoded the quirks, now let's bring them all together into one cohesive psychological profile. Let's lock in these key takeaways. If you have messy or rapid writing, you utilize selective organization. Small, compact writing, that shows cognitive restraint and deep focus. Connected letters point to the brilliant hyperconnectivity of a multidimensional thinker. Heavy pressure reveals gifted emotions and deep feeling. And finally, your spacing dictates your level of social dependency. Essentially, every single stroke is a data point of your personality. If you recognized yourself in any of these traits today, I really want you to remember this quote. You aren't weird, you're just wired differently. Your handwriting is not a mistake, and it is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. It's a highly personalized map of a brain that is creative, deeply curious, and fundamentally obsessed with finding the deeper meaning behind all the normal stuff in the world. Which leaves us with one final, pretty exciting question. What other hidden parts of your personality are written in the everyday things you've never even noticed before? If you loved understanding the hidden psychology behind your everyday quirks and you want to keep decoding your mind with us, make sure to subscribe. In this Explainer series, we don't just look at what you do, we explore exactly why you do it. Stay curious, stay focused, and keep learning. I'll catch you in the next Explainer.